Welcome back to Geek Therapy Radio. This is going to be a quick final segment. I've got Colin here from This Does Not Compute on YouTube. That is, This Does Not Compute on YouTube. So, go follow the channel. Go subscribe to the channel. And while you're at it, subscribe to my channel too. That way everyone lives and we can all hug each other and have a happy, lovey-dovey, kumbaya geek time. What else did I want to talk about in 5 minutes, Colin? Here's the reverse problem of having a short amount of time. It's like, okay, what do I want to hit real quick? And what do we got 3 minutes for? Do you work on anything else other than retro gaming?
Yeah, actually, I've been trying to branch out a little bit more, at least on my channel. I do talk about content creation here and there. There's not a whole lot of uptake.
Yeah.
Except for a couple of lucky videos that I did.
Right.
But you know, that's a relatively limited audience anyway. But I've also been trying to get kind of more into retro computing and retro tech in general.
Yeah.
I've done a few retrospectives on, machines from kind of the late 90s. Notable machines that were maybe a little bit weird or a little bit different, and why they fit in and how they shaped computing today.
I saw a video you posted recently, the experience, the 90s experience at computer stores, or 90s computer stores experience. Man, that brought back Circuit City. Mm-hmm. Going to Circuit City. Dude, I remember going into even like Office Depot and Office Max.
Yep.
When not just Palm Pilots, but Palm PCs. Like palm-sized PCs, the clamshell PCs with a super letterboxed screen, but they were color and it was Windows CE, and that that blew my mind. I had a Windows CE device. I had a what was it? A compact. It was called the iPack.
Yep, I've heard of those.
Yeah,
yep.
That was the coolest thing in the world. Here's the thing, though. Colin, I'm 34. Are you around the same?
Yeah, I'm around the same age. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So I remember carrying around a Palm Pilot or this iPack Pocket PC. It was a PDA. Mm-hmm. This was back in 97, 96, 97. And I was made fun of so much for having this thing. Like, you're such a geek. What even is that thing? And teachers are like, you can't. Are you using that to cheat or whatever? I was like, no, I'm just typing notes. It's a Palm Pilot. Da, da, da. And I told the kids in my class, I was like, you just watch. Like, in less than 10 years, you all are gonna have this. You will be the outcast if you don't have a device in your pocket with a screen on it. So here we are, 2017, almost 2018. Everyone has their face buried in a smartphone. That's what it's all come to. I even thought back then, as a 13-year-old kid or whatever, it was like, we have cell phones, basically. We have these Palm Pilots, basically. It's just a matter of time before they merge the two together, and it's just one thing, and everybody has it. So I told you so. And
the interesting thing, perhaps the most interesting thing about tech in the last 20 years is that it has finally become socially acceptable to be a nerd.
Why do you think I started a show called Geek Therapy?
It's almost celebrated now.
Yeah,
because they realize that nerds can make money. Like, nerds make the decent money. Like, back in the late 90s, everyone's like, "Oh, you're a nerd. You're going to work in computers for the rest of your life." And it's like, well, I am working in computers, and I'm probably going to be working in computers for the rest of my life, but it beats flipping burgers, and stocking boxes and stuff like that. So it's become its own, it's completely flipped. It's done a complete 180, where not only is it totally acceptable to declare yourself a geek or a nerd and have everyone be, oh, okay, cool, whatever, what are you into?
Yeah.
But actually start to find some common threads with so-called normal people too, right?
Yes.
Maybe you're a nerd. Yeah. What do you think about this one video game or whatever that I've been hearing about?
That's a perfect...
you can hold a normal conversation, if you're a geek now, instead of always like feeling like you're talking over everybody's heads because they don't understand what you're talking about.
Right. That's a perfect segue into the end of the show, because the mission statement on my show, which I emailed to you, was that we're all geeks about something. So even if someone's driving around, I always draw this analogy. If some guy's listening to this show right now and he's driving around in his vintage 1965 Mustang. He's like, I'm a big macho man. I'm into muscle cars. I'm not a geek. Well, yeah, you are. You're a geek and you're a nerd about vintage cars, which is cool. Come listen to the show, because I sometimes talk about vintage cars on there, because it's all something to tinker with. It's all something to geek out about. Colin, plug your stuff real quick.
Yeah, so I'm at thisdoesnotcomp on Twitter and Instagram, and on YouTube, it's just youtube.com/thisdoesnotcompute.
Colin, this was a blast. I hope you'll come on my show at, some other time. Is that all right?
Yeah, you bet. Totally.
Semi-regularly?
Yeah.
Colin, thank you very much. Geeks, be good to each other. We are all geeks about something. Nurture your geek thing. Nurture your friend's geek thing. Nurture a stranger's geek thing. That wasn't sexual. I'm just saying. There's so much divisiveness in our society today. One common thread we have is that we are all geeks about something, no matter what you're into. So just spend 5 minutes this week, 10 minutes this week on your geek thing. If you were super into Legos as a kid, but for some reason life got in the way, adulthood got in the way of playing with Legos, you're a grown-ass man or woman, go buy some Legos, play with Legos for 5 to 10 minutes this week. Engage that part of your brain and be good to each other. Colin, thank you so much for being on.
No, thank you.
And Geeks, that's going to wrap it up for Geek Therapy Radio this week. All the social media. Don't even have time to plug it. Geek Therapy Radio. Just Google it. Just do the googly on it. And join me next week for more Geek Therapy Radio. And remember that geeks are sexy.